everyone, Selina here on this very first podcast for 2021. We made it. Happy New Year. We are definitely going to do a quick look back of 2020, the highlights and the lowlights, and of course put that behind us. Look forward to 2021 and of course the community's recovery. So important. This podcast has been such a great platform, and thank you to Richard Busman and Maureen Daniels of The Signal for providing me the platform to bring your stories to the community. So I have some questions that were given to me by some people that I'd love to share with you, and of course my answers. The very first question is from Joe in Canyon Country. What was your favorite moment of 2020? I definitely have to say that having never run for political office, to see my name on a ballot was really exciting, and a highlight was having my daughter vote for me. So thank you for that question, Joe. That was definitely a highlight. In my travels, I have seen the devastation of COVID on many small businesses, and a lot of people ask me, why do I focus on small businesses? There are people behind small businesses, and those people live in this community. I think I would be remiss if I didn't speak about the first responders, nurses, essential workers, industries that maintained our infrastructure during this crisis and continue to bear the burden of the recovery. I am so honored to be able to speak to them in 2021, highlight how they're assisting our community in recovering, but also speak to the stories. And in a look back here, you will see the many people I've had a chance to speak to through this year. I've spoken to golfers, to Girl Scouts, and everyone in between. And the common denominator is that we are in a community of people that care, that want to come together, and they want to recover. So here's some highlights of a few of my conversations.
Selina Thomas.
Yes. Thank you so much, Alan and Rick and the Canyon Country Advisory Committee, for this opportunity to participate. It's been a lot of fun to hear new questions and, of course, definitely see all the other candidates. As a mother, as a businesswoman, as a very proud resident of this community, I'm actually honored to be able to step forward and participate in the process of representing the community and all of the community, not just one specific demographic or issue. I think that I've been able to reflect in my candidacy my experience, my acuity for the issues, my obviously results in the business sector, and of course my experience professionally in the social service sector. When I was set to franchise 6 Degrees, I was very proud to say that I had started and built a company in Santa Clarita. And then I was also very proud to set aside that franchise plan to support Santa Clarita and the small businesses that gave me an opportunity 6 years ago as a small business owner myself. And I feel that it's important to pay forward any opportunities that you receive and share the expertise that you have. In this crisis, we've seen so many people step forward. This is a community that if it happens to one, it happens to all. And I'm proud to be able to step forward and lend myself to this crisis and this recovery.
Santa Clarita election coverage, only on KHTS.
This is KHTS News Director Michael Brown here, continuing our series interviewing the city council candidates running in 2020. We got the last one up for you here today. Sitting here now with first-time runner Selina Thomas. Selina, how's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Glad to have you here. So, first off, very important question. Why are you running for city council?
Thank you. It was a great question, and I definitely have spoken many times about kind of the organic way this happened, in that I work with small businesses daily. I own 6 Degrees HR Consulting, and at the height of the pandemic, it became apparent that there was going to be a long recovery, and specifically and especially for small businesses, which is my expertise.
What is your favorite concert that you've been to?
Earth, Wind & Fire at the Hollywood Bowl last year.
Last year, was it great?
It was great.
Was it in September?
It was actually in September.
Okay.
But It was the
Do you
last
remember
concert
that
I
date in
went to.
September? Yeah.
It was not the date that you were thinking of, but it was the last concert I went to. It was a great time, and I missed the energy of being around people and celebrating life, and that's what that concert reminded me of.
Who's your favorite superhero?
My father, Dr. Gene Thomas.
Wow, okay. That's a good answer.
Yes,
Does he wear a cape?
He used to.
Another great question that came in was, Selina, what did you learn this year? And I think all of us have learned what we can live without, how we can live within our means, how we can be creative and work from home. And of course, we've coined many new phrases this year. The new normal, the pandemic in and of itself has created a new kind of culture of community that has been viral, has been connected but disconnected. And I think we've all craved the human connection, but realize that we can still find a way to do that. Thankfully, this pandemic occurred in the age of technology where we can still connect and create. And so I think what I've learned is that we can do that, but we will all still need to get back to the way of life and connecting and making memory. Another great question that I got is, will I take the COVID-19 immunization? And the answer is yes. I realize that this is uncharted territory and that we have very limited information only because we've had a short amount of time with the virus and the remedy. However, the alternative outweighs the reasoning, and of course, I will do my due diligence and publicly take it and endorse that this be done. And it is a pathway for us to get back into the normal existence that we have while we're still carrying on in a safe manner. So yes, I will get it, and I'm glad that you asked that question. This community has to consider the larger risk to our vulnerable, and I am a big advocate to make sure that I educate and inform and of course share my journey, so I will be taking it. Another good question from Jeff is, if you could do 2020 over again, would you? And I don't think anybody could do 2020 over again. I don't like to live in regret, and I know that it has been a transformational year for many of us, and so no, I would not do 2020 over again. I am certainly looking forward to 2021 and all the possibilities, and know that the lessons learned from 2020 will be a benefit. So no, I wouldn't do it over again. Another great question I received was, as a small business, I am still struggling. What do you recommend? And I highly recommend that with the second part of the stimulus passing and other relief grant programs coming in 2021, that as a business you have all of your financials in order, including your profit and loss and your payroll records. These are all foundations for those grant programs. As a small business owner myself, I'm diligent about the infrastructure of my company, and of course the records are a reflection of the losses. And so if anything, I recommend that you have all of your documents in order while we're waiting for the SBA to open up on their funding. This would be a time to get that in order. Plus it's tax season, so great question. And of course, if you need help with this, give us a call, 661-432-1088. We'd be happy to help. Inevitably, as I have, like everyone else, had to be on video this whole year, there are bloopers that come with that. And of course, anytime this year we could laugh and just forget about the troubles of the day, it was in the bloopers. So here's my blooper reel. Hope you enjoy. Happy Monday, everybody. Selina here with 6 Degrees. Just want to remind you that, hey everyone, happy Wednesday, hump day. I would love to welcome, happy Tuesday, everybody. The week is blah blah. Happy Wednesday. Thomas, I am the owner, CEO. 6 Degrees likes to think, look, can cost the company big money. HR Consulting. Happy 2020, everyone. The first Monday back, Selina. Okay, let's start over again. Sorry. This year, so many people had to
pull back on any normal giving that they would participate in. This year, despite having losses in revenue like everyone else, I had an opportunity to be a part of Albright Painting's Paint It Forward event. Huge highlight for me and this community every year, and so that was one of my highlights. And of course, looking forward to sharing what that event is going to be like in 2021 when they actually get to paint the recipients' homes. We look forward to bringing that story and their journey to you when that does happen. Of course, with all of the losses this year, I can't express enough the outlook that I have is going to be positive, and as an active participant in the solutions. I think as a person that doesn't do resolutions, I can just share what my outlook would be. And if everyone includes themselves in positive participation, I think recovery is always easier. So if I were to look into 2021 and tell you what my mantra would be, it would be to be positive, to participate, and of course always look forward and look at the brighter side of things. So participation this year, like last year, is going to be more important. My goals for the year are, like everyone else's, is to continue to sustain. Definitely anything that I can do to help in someone's recovery, whether that's of service or in some sort of resources, I'm definitely going to continue to do that. And then of course, continue to bring the stories of this community, especially the business community, forward. I look forward to talking to estheticians and to the hair salon industry that has been, as our restaurant industry, greatly impacted. So my next podcast is dedicated to that story and of course the people of that story. People ask me all the time, what was the headline that struck me the most this year? With so many headlines, I think the one that I think we all can remember that stopped us in our tracks was the day that Kobe Bryant passed away. And of course, we lost his daughter and 8 other people. That story and the timing of that story, when we look back at the year, kind of set the trajectory for how tough this year was going to be, and how as a collective group we had to come together and be strong for each other.
The last question is, what is your favorite part of living in Santa Clarita? And I think all of the different opportunities, the safety, the schools, there's so many reasons to be proud of living here, but mostly the people. And so that, for me, is the reason why I look forward every day to getting up, meeting people from the community, speaking to them, sharing their stories, and of course, helping the business community. So that was a great question. This is the end of our podcast, but we look forward to sharing the memories, the people that we lost, and of course, what we have to look forward to. So thank you everyone so much for your time, and of course, can't wait to see you in 2021.
Like everyone else, I'm
while I'm doing my own campaigning, I'm watching and waiting as things unfold.
Okay. What is your favorite concert that you've been to?
Earth, Wind, and Fire at the Hollywood Bowl last year.
Last year, was it great?
It was great.
Was it in September?
It was actually in September,
Okay.
but it was the
Do you
last
remember
concert
that
I
date in
went
September?
to.
Yeah,
It was not the date that you were thinking of, but it was the last concert I went to. It was a great time, and I missed the energy of being around people and celebrating life, and that's what that concert reminded me of.
Who's your favorite superhero?
My father, Dr. Gene Thomas.
Wow, okay. That's a good answer.
Yes,
Does he wear a cape?
He used to.